So I had videos planned for both Nimona and Sonic Prime Season 2, and the Sonic Prime video obviously came out. But as I started to write and research for the Nimona video, I got more and more angry, and then SAG went on strike, and then I got even more angry. We're here. And I have some things I want to talk about today, and how I think that like the way things are going, all this good stuff that we're getting, Nimona, Sonic Prime Season 2, Across the Spider-Verse, this stuff won't last. So I want to make a different kind of video today. This is kind of a part 2 to my Sonic the Hedgehog video. I briefly talked about the strike and my feelings about the animation industry and all that type of stuff. And as a person who, you know, wants to get into like game design, narrative design, and a lot of the narrative writers on games are a part of the WGA, I want to talk about this today. I feel like it's important to talk about and important to promote and bring light to. So let's talk about it today. So first let's talk about Nimona. Now, Nimona almost didn't happen. In fact, Nimona actually didn't happen for a very long time. Nimona was originally being made by Blue Sky Studios. You know, the same Blue Sky that Disney took out back with a shotgun after they were bought by Fox, and after Disney bought Fox, and then just decided to scrap pretty much everything in that entire studio. An anonymous Blue Sky employee wrote to Collider in an article, "That is heartbreaking, because we are not only losing our jobs, we're losing our family, our workplace, we're losing the closure of being able to send Nimona out into the world where it could change kids' lives." Oh, and the movie was 75% done. You know what else was like over 75% done? The Batgirl movie. Oh, I'm sorry. That was fully completed. A fully completed movie, just poof, gone. It's considered lost media now. So if anybody, you know, finds it, it's lost media. You'd be doing the internet a favor in uncovering lost media. Just saying. Now, unfortunately, that wasn't the first, and it definitely won't be the last project to ever be like that. Just fully completed and just poof, gone from existence. Netflix has especially been egregious for doing this within recent years. And the reasons why this happens could be anything from money, could be anything from not making enough money even though the project isn't out yet, to them being uncomfortable with the idea of two men kissing on a screen. Disney what? Another anonymous employee, this time from Pixar, stated, "We at Pixar have personally witnessed beautiful stories full of diverse characters come back from Disney corporate reviews shaved down to crumbs of what they once were. We are being barred from creating LGBTQIA+ content." This is the same Disney, which like every 5 months, every time they put out a new fucking movie, it's, oh, this is the first gay character we've ever had in a movie. What? I don't understand. But I think I get it. If the characters in the background, if the characters don't matter, if they don't have names, or they're just inconsequential to the larger story at whole, then sure, they can be gay. But if they're the main character, oh no, absolutely not. What do you mean the main character is gay and is gonna be kissing a man on screen? No, that makes me uncomfortable. So the fact that Nimona did survive the way that it did is something to be praised, but I'm not praising Netflix. In fact, if the director hadn't already had worked on Netflix projects in the past and probably knew somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody, that movie probably wouldn't have gotten made. And it sucks to even fathom that being the reason, and not just because it's a good project that should be made. So instead, I will shout out the director and the artists and the 3D artists, the concept artists, the writers, the voice actors, who all made that movie what it is, an amazing piece of media. So you may be asking, well, what does this have to do with the Spider-Verse? And I could make an entire different video about the tumultuous upcoming of both Into the Spider-Verse and now Across the Spider-Verse. But I'm gonna just point to like this video here. Hopefully I'll put it on the screen so I won't look like an idiot. But this video, actually, it sparked me to make this video with all the knowledge I knew about Nimona and how I felt about the strike and everything. This video right here, this guy goes into depth about Sony Animation and how they are where they are now, and the tumultuous steps that even Across the Spider-Verse being one of the best movies out right now, probably the movie of the year, and it still is racked with overwork and abuse, basically. And he did something in that video that was very, very interesting. First of all, go watch that video, especially if you want to know what I'm talking about when I talk about Across the Spider-Verse. But he did something very interesting, and what he did was something that I have been doing for a very long time, that I briefly talked about when I talk about some of these animated shows and movies that I watch. Is he went into the credits of the movie and just found random names under artists, 3D artists, concept artists, whatever, and he found them online. He found their Twitters, he found their websites, he found their portfolios and everything. And he did that all to emphasize the fact that, like, these are real people behind these movies, who are making these movies, who are passionate about these movies. And they're not just expendable, and you can't just use them like they're robots. And that was the whole point of that part of the video. And it's really good. Again, go check it out. But it's something that I have, especially, I think since the Owl House, that I have, like, I don't know, realized. And it's something that, like, don't beat yourself up if you didn't even realize that beforehand, because I really didn't either. I didn't, like, realize, like, oh wait, these are, like, real people, and they have Twitters, they're online. A lot of them are, some of them aren't, but a lot of them are, like, online. They make art sometimes. And I've said this before, but I guess now I'm just saying it out loud to you all. I feel like it is always going to be more beneficial to support the specific artists who make the things that you love than trying to support a production company, because usually that production company is the ones holding back. If you ever think that something is, like, rushed, or they felt like they didn't go far enough into a specific plot point of a show or movie or whatever, I promise you, it is almost never the writer's fault or the artist's fault or, like, whatever. It is almost always the production company. It is almost always the people, the executives, the bag of fucking bones who are sitting there telling you that they need to shave down stuff, as I just read in that quote. And surprisingly enough, the Mario movie is what opened my eyes to this most recently, because when I went onto Twitter after watching the Mario movie, I saw a lot of Twitter artists, some of which I follow, talking about how this is their first credit in a movie, and they're, like, so happy, and people being like, oh, here's sharing concept art of the movie. And then this happened again with Across the Spider-Verse. When Across the Spider-Verse came out, people took to Twitter who worked on the movie to show off their concepts and show how these characters came to be. And it was just a moment that I was just sitting there, like, you know, that realization, like, these are real people. These are real people that deserve to be treated fairly for what they do. Now, I'm not, like, saying that I thought the movie was created by, like, AI or some shit, which, like, we'll get to that in a second. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it's one of those, like, kind of tear down the curtain type deal. I think that Hollywood and these production companies do a really, really good job of making you think that the movies and shows that you watch are created by them and not by people, if that makes sense. Because this whole idea that a lot of people have of, first of all, not treating, I guess, like, celebrities like people. They don't see them as people. There are plenty of video essays out there about this. If I can find them, I'll put them on the screen and link them down below. But they have done a really good job of that, of treating these people like a commodity and not allowing them to be human, even on, like, press tours and stuff like that, to the point where, like, you don't see these people as human. And that creates an even further, like, class divide, because we all think that these people have millions of fucking dollars in their bank account. And that is something that, like, I had to go back and, like, unteach myself over the last couple of years, especially now that I want to get into writing and narrative design and game design and stuff like that. These people aren't rich. They're not, like, that's one of the main things that people are trying to fight back against people who are on strike. It's like, oh, you're just trying to make the rich richer. Like, I realized that we were taught that since we were kids, that if you work in Hollywood, in any part of Hollywood, that you're rich. Like, we were taught that since we were kids, that anybody anywhere who works at any part of Hollywood is rich and they're famous. Doesn't matter if you're a costume designer getting paid literal pennies. Doesn't matter if you're a writer also getting paid literal pennies. Unless you're a top dog exec, you're probably not getting paid all that much, or you're a super celebrity, you're probably not getting paid all that much. But as kids, like, growing up, and as we learn about, like, celebrity culture and all this stuff, we are taught, or just it's heavily implied to us, that all of these people are rich, and we shouldn't, and we should hate them for being rich. You know what I mean? Even though that's not true at all. And so if they ask for anything, also this idea that if you are rich and you're getting a lot of money, that should negate your working conditions. Like, some of the stuff that they're asking for, aside from money, is like better working conditions. And they want to use, going back to AI, they want to be able to scan an actor's face one time for like a one-time fee of who knows how much that fee would be, but a one-time fee to be able to use it forever. Literally just forever for whatever project, whether it's that project or another project, and not be able to pay them anymore. That is like theft, like actual theft of your identity that they just get to use it for whatever and you don't get a say in it. That is what they want to do. And then of course for the writers, they want to train AI without like the writer's consent on the stuff that they write. And people are like, oh, well, who cares that they want to do that, whatever, maybe we'll get some like good writing or like whatever. First of all, imagine saying that you wrote a bad episode of a TV show or you wrote a bad season of a TV show, therefore you don't deserve a house, you don't deserve to live in a house or just live, period, because you need to the clothes on your back, food at your table. Imagine saying that, oh, this game that I played, the writing sucked, so I guess you don't deserve to get paid. I guess you don't deserve fair wage, fair living. Like, that is crazy how we've like gotten to that. And that's like the main argument that I see a lot of brain dead people on Twitter taking. And it just reminds me of how much of this is like we're indoctrinated in. And you don't care to talk about like the billionaires of people who are getting, the billionaire CEOs that are getting paid millions and millions a year and who don't really do anything, but hey. But you have no critiques on the CEOs that are getting paid millions and millions of years, who are actively the ones making the decisions that are making a lot of your shows and movies worse. But you have no critiques for them, but you have all the critiques in the world. Like, the people who make these products are the ones who are told to make sure the writing is a certain way. The ones who are told to use more Gen Z slang. They don't want to fucking say that. They don't want to do that. They want to write like that. And you can tell because of like the other projects these writers have been on. When you look at like the portfolio of a lot of these writers and artists, and then you be like, well, then how the fuck did you make the Emoji Movie? How the fuck did you write Forspoken like that? If you have written all of this cool, amazing things, and like put two and two together, bro. Put two and two together. Anyway, I'm getting a little ranty. Let's get back on track. Now you may be asking again, what does this have to do with Sonic? Because this is technically a part 2 to my Sonic video. And at the end of that video, I had said that like Sonic is probably going to get a 3rd season, if only because it's Sonic. It's an IP that is like guaranteed to make money. And as great as that show is, we shouldn't have to rely on the IP doing all of the work in order to give the writers and the artists like creative freedom. They should just have creative freedom. Like, you should just trust in that process and trust in the people that you're hiring to have that creative freedom. Projects like Nimona or Dead End Paranormal Park or Inside Job, they don't get that luxury. They have to constantly, every single season, prove themselves over and over and over and over again, because for some reason Netflix thinks that like animation especially works on a season by season basis. First of all, no show should work like that. No show, whether it's live action or animated, should work like that. You should have a story to tell and then tell that story. The fact that we could just, I hate the word of like canceling something like halfway through its thing, especially when people are like liking it. That's a whole nother conversation. But the fact that these shows have to prove themselves over and over and over again, and sometimes for literal pennies. I know y'all saw that TikTok of that actress from Orange is the New Black. I know y'all saw that. Y'all saw that TikTok of her residuals for the entire season being $27. Please, I know this video is probably gonna be all over the place because it's just so much like in my head right now that I'm just like, so lastly, I guess I'll end it with influencers and content creators, because I guess I am a content creator. I'm almost at 2K. I might be at 2K by the time this video comes out. If that is true, thank you so much. I love doing this. This is like one of my favorite hobbies, just sitting here getting to talk about the things that I like and why I like them and why they inspire me to create the things that I create. I said it at the beginning of the last video and I'll say it in this one too. I am in solidarity with the workers and probably the animators who I think are about about to go on strike. I'm so happy for them. I'm so happy. You know, most of my channel is animated stuff. I do talk about live action stuff very rarely, but I'm mostly animated stuff. So to see the animators coming together and possibly going on strike, please, please, they especially, and the VFX workers, I hope to get to jump in there as well, because it's so bad for them. It is so bad for them. But obviously in solidarity with them, I will not be talking about struck work for the next foreseeable future. So that means I'm probably going to switch to more fandom stuff, probably a lot more anime stuff, and a lot more indie stuff. There's a couple, I had asked you guys to let me know in the community tab. You can go there, or you can just leave it in the comments below. You can leave it anyway. I ask for ideas like every video. So if there's like an indie like project you want me to watch, either animated or not, like let me know about it and I'll watch it and possibly do a video about it. I've been wanting to like shout out a lot of indie stuff anyway. This kind of like gives me the excuse to like do so. So if you have any like ideas in that realm, leave it down below. Anything you want me to check out, and I'll check it out. But as for content creators, if you're like in the loop with the whole strike and stuff on TikTok especially, I'm sure you saw the whole thing about certain content creators saying that they just kind of want to disregard the strike themselves and take it upon themselves to still take a lot of like promotional materials and sponsorships from these struck companies. First of all, you're a content creator, especially with like millions and millions of followers. Get a different sponsorship. Like, you don't have to do a sponsorship with those struck companies, because the whole idea of like, oh well, I need to make money, I do this as my full-time job. Take a different sponsorship. HelloFresh is right there. I mean, you have over 1 million followers. I'm sure they would want to work with you. Like, I'm not even near the place where I would be getting sponsorships yet. But like, I know just based off of like watching YouTubers and TikTokers for like days and days and days, because I'm chronically online, that I know that you could take a different sponsorship. Why do you need to take a sponsorship from a struck company? I don't, like, it's just disrespect. It is just disrespectful. Anyway, it is just disrespectful. There's a lot of like guidelines, and in fear of like giving out misinformation, there's a lot of guidelines. I think there is a website with the guidelines for content creators, and I will link that down below just in case you are wondering. For me, I technically fall under the critique and entertainment journalism, because I technically do critiques. But like I said in my last video, I tend to be wholly positive on this channel, and I see that as a form of promotion for a lot of the shows that I watch. If there is like a movie or something that I don't like The Flash, which I thought I was gonna make a video on and I never did, but if there's something like that, I usually just not like it and then I move on with my life. I don't have the time or the patience to really sit down and be that angry about something that I like, and I love gushing about the things that I do like. So that's why I don't tend to move towards things that I don't like. But obviously, if you see me only talking about things that I like in a positive light, I do criticize some things. Like, I had maybe 1 or 2 bad things to say about Sonic, but like for the most part I keep it pretty positive. And because of that, I see that as a form of promotion almost. If like you're always coming, if you know I make a video about a show, unless it like severely disappoints me, I'm still usually pretty kind about it, and I'm still pretty like positive about it. So I see that as a form of promotion. So that's why I will still refrain, even though I fall under that category of like critique or whatever. So yeah, if you're a content creator or want to be a content creator, most of us, especially people who do videos about shows and movies that we love, want to be in that space eventually. Me particularly, I want to be in the video game industry. I'm going to grad school for it, but wow, whatever. And you know, who knows where the wind will take me if I want to write for, you know, a show or a movie or like whatever. That could be like super duper fun. And so I don't want to like, first of all, cut off my chances of like doing that because I want to defend a multi-billion-dollar company. You sound goofy, bro. Defending a multi-million-dollar company so you can get a little sponsorship back. Don't get me started. Do not get me started. So if you're wondering how you can help, they're not calling for a boycott of watching or consuming this media yet. So you can still go see Barbie. You can still go see Oppenheimer. You can still go see TMNT. I'm definitely going to go see TMNT. You just probably won't see a video about it. Maybe I'll make a video about it and then post it whenever the strike is done. It could be months from now, a year from now. Who knows? I hope it doesn't go that long. People need to eat. And of course, if you can't donate, you can share videos like these that are talking about the strike, that are promoting the strike and all that it stands for and things like that. I know, like, I ain't got no money. I have no money. I'm literally in the middle of moving. I ain't got no money. None. Zero. So if you're like me and you're broke as hell, sharing stuff around is probably the best way to like help with the strike. So share videos, repost TikToks, etc., and just overall stand in solidarity with workers. And you know, you can always start One Piece. I'm just saying, y'all want to learn about like solidarity, class solidarity, and revolutions, you should watch One Piece. I'm just saying. And of course, like I said, follow the artist instead of these companies. Now, of course, that like I probably follow a couple of production companies, so I'm not perfect, but definitely moving forward when I look into like the stuff that I like, especially stuff with an art style that I really like, going out of my way to like follow these artists online and keep up with them really helps them a lot, because it helps them know that their work is being seen out there, and it can promote them to hopefully getting even more work in the future. So yes, WGA strong and SAGAFTRA strong, IATSE strong. Who else is going? UPS strong. Who the fuck else is going on strike right now? Like I said, the Animation Guild might be going on strike too. All of it, rip it from the ground up, and let's start over. So anyway, thank you so much for watching to the end. If you did, you are a real one. Let me know down below how you feel about all of this. Let me know if there's any indie projects you want me to check out, any animes you want me to check out. I'm so behind on my anime stuff, so we gonna get caught up on that. Don't worry, I'm still gonna read Trigun, I promise. I'm just like, I gotta get my life together. Like I said, I'm in the middle of a move. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. Love and peace.